Okay, Drivers Mate Podcast. Please like and subscribe. Check me out on Instagram at Drivers Mate Podcast. Now, let's get into this. Anime. Why is it so popular now? Why are new people that weren't generally interested in this kind of thing suddenly starting to get deep into it? Now, before we go into why that might be, I want to talk about my personal experience with anime or manga or cartoons, right? I'm a 90s baby. I grew up in the era of still drawn cartoons, right? My era saw the first merging of digital production like Disney, Pixar and Disney merging together to give us Toy Story, Finding Nemo, all of those first 3D type cartoons, right? My era, that was our childhood. We were the first people to see that stuff. But before that, we had 2D drawn cartoon, right? Excellent stuff. And me personally, I would say I respect the art of cartoon making, anime making, manga making more than the art of filmmaking, right? How it is now. I would prefer to watch a series of anime than watch a TV series, right? Reason number one is the art of storytelling is pure, right? It's purified storytelling, yeah? It's not too much. Right, I'll put it like this. It takes real artistic hard work, right, to convey emotions through a 2D character adverse to the human recognition of emotions in another human's face, right? It's easier to recognize the emotions on another human's face and have empathy and whatnot than it is to recognize the emotions on a cartoon's face, right? So that quality of storytelling and drawing is way higher than today's quality of filmmaking, right? Because filmmaking has dived mostly into CGI, right? And a lot of popular Hollywood films are lagging seriously in their storytelling capability, right? The scripts are shit, but they're covering it up with action, woke politics, and like advertising, right? And that's another reason why I prefer anime, right? I don't like to be advertised to, right? I know everything you see in a film nowadays is already sponsored. But like, whereas back in the day, they would just make people wear plain clothes, drive like atypical cars and stuff like that. Stuff you couldn't really define, right? Because the items and the clothes didn't matter. The story mattered. The character mattered more than the surrounding, right? So that's one reason why that's a couple of reasons why I'd put anime above filmmaking at this time. But to rewind a step anyway, yeah, anime and cartoon making has gone to a really mass-produced height now, right? Whereas before it was certain cartoon studios, certain animation studios that dominated the game of anime and manga making, right? If we go back to the 90s and late 80s, you had more manga, right? More anime. It was 2D drawn, plain coloured cartoons, right? And we got a lot of that shipped over here into England and on our TV screens through VHS tapes, right? Shops used to sell VHS tapes, and we used to get a channel called Sci-Fi Channel and Bravo, and they would air Japanese mangas and anime sometimes, right? This is when I was a baby and my older brothers and them were like in their late teens, right? So they got to experience that first wave, that Akira stuff, Guyver, 3 by 3 Eyes, Vampire Hunter D, the list goes on and on, Ninja Scrolls, you name it, those kinds of mangas, right? And as a child, the first ever Street Fighter cartoon I saw was made by manga, right? It was a manga, right? Yeah? So, I have basically cartoons, manga, anime, Japanese culture, right? Asian culture is deeply rich with art, right? The art of calligraphy, the art of drawing, the art of storytelling through cartoon, right? And not film. Ghost in the Shell, right? that was a turning point where you saw blatantly how manga and anime is becoming mainstream, right? And how films like The Matrix around that time took ideas from